Hey guys, I wanted to do another longer video today. It's raining. I tried walking the dog. We went into the forest and it started raining like crazy. So now we're back home and I have time to film a little bit. So let's have a look what's going on. Things are moving towards another flower flush. Not a big one because I didn't really fertilize a lot in the last weeks and months. So I kind of like dropped the ball a little bit in regards to just making sure that the next flower flush will be as big as the other one. But I was so overwhelmed with the flowers and we already have so many fruits that it's just gotten to a point where I felt like it's enough, you know? Yeah, but there's a lot of good stuff going on. Lots of flowers. I need to show you this plant here from the other side. Let me show you. Okay, yeah, here you can see it. This will be some serious flowering here. And we will pollinate every one with a different kind of father. Here's a fruit already. Sometimes they dry up later, but the way it looks right now, this will probably ripen to real fruit. Here's an update. This one's ripe, probably. You can touch it and it feels a little bit mushy, but I usually leave it on until they split or until they turn yellow. Check out the size difference. This is a fruit that was pollinated with a father of the same species that this one. This is a Telegonoides hybrid, Sorensia telegonoides, and this one here was a Telegonoides too, hybrid too, and the others are a little bit more distant, and it instantly affected the number of seeds in the fruit and the size of the fruit. Yeah, this one here, this is actually great. I think about moving this plant inside, but it has two arms and both grow into different directions, so I might not be able to put it on the ground without it falling over the way it is with the flowering and all. I want to repot it, but it is very difficult to repot a plant of this size because the second arm is similarly tall, so I might have to remove one to give it a little bit more stability so I can pot it up. Let's look into this greenhouse because there's stuff going on here. Here's Echinopsis valida that has been flowering, pollinated with Gräsers Erfolg, Selbstbestäubung, and Cantora. I'm not sure if it will take. Probably not. So far, I couldn't pollinate this plant, but we will try. Down there, this is Kraken, a Sorensia telegona hybrid, and the plant is very big, hard to handle, so I have it propped up against something else. This one here, I want to do time-lapse with. This is the first flower here. A hybrid with Tom Jules Giant. I love the flower and the body. This is a great plant. The flower, you can see here, the hair color is a little bit unique. I would love to see the flower here in a time lapse. So maybe it has the right size, not a big pot. I like when I can move a plant. This is a hybrid that is on my list of plants for the time lapse too. But yeah, I gotta wait and see which ones open up at the time when I film. And yeah, I'm also a little bit worried about the cost of electricity of the time lapse. I did a calculation of my electricity costs, and it turns out that just from the time lapse, the costs every month go up at least 30 euro. That's a lot for me. I'm a poor guy right now, so going into a divorce and all. So every month, 30 bucks more on what's already an expensive invoice it's a lot. So I'm scared. But on the other hand, the flower season is almost over. So I think maybe I will just risk that we might get a higher electricity bill than I can afford. I will just try to pay it then. I don't know. I'm sure we will find a way. I will sell a few more books or so. But I'm really surprised how expensive it is. This one here is looked amazing in the time lapse. I want to cut it back. I want to repot the plant, but it's just currently growing fruit, so I'm not daring to move it right now. But this is on my list of plants that I want to repot. The moment I am able to handle it safely without the risk of losing the fruit, I will instantly repot it. And I also want to cut it back in the next days. Maybe today I will remove this one and the half of this one, so it can pop from here, or maybe also this one half. I want to create more spots where it can pop. This one here is really starting to bother me. I have this plant for demonstration purposes because it's Purpureo pilosa, Echinopsis purpureo pilosa, and yeah, but it isn't flowering and it takes a lot of space, so I'm a little bit, yeah, I'm not sure. But it's a cool plant, very unique body. I mean, I haven't seen a lot that look like this. So kind of related to candicans, Sörensia candicans, Echinopsis candicans, but a little bit different too. This is from a flower that was like just lying on it. Yeah, this one. But yeah, if it weren't so rare, I would have already sorted it out. I might sort it out later. Here we have Mamacita, and I want to move it out so it rains on the plant. I did repotting. Let me show you. Okay, here are a few that I repotted. This is Fatari, a Fatari hybrid with amazing flowers. It looked so great on the time lapse, and when I saw the time lapse video, I decided, okay, this one will now get a bigger pot. This is a Buena Vista Rosa California hybrid that I repotted. This is a South Australian short spine, also deserving of its own pot, especially since it's dehydrated. So yeah, it needed a bigger pot and a more organic soil. I've been using that cemetery soil, and I think it's great because it's wet right now. It's raining, but you see it's still not totally wet, and it was dry within a few hours. So this could be great. If mixed with coconut, we have a winning combination probably, and if not, we can always mix in something like this, washed pumice. Oh yeah, now I kicked it over. This is a Gräser hybrid, which is awesome. Gräserserfolg and Selbstbestäubung, I think. This is Gräserserfolg, Selbstbestäubung and Cantora. I'm basically moving the flowering plants out so they get enough water so the fruits can ripen. Here, lots of these will need to be repotted, but I'm out of soil again. On the top shelf, I'm watering and fertilizing now in the next days. I have the spray can over there and I will use it later. Yeah, just during the flower time, you do not have enough time to water the rest. So now I'm back at it, and I will do it until the rest of the season. Here's a plant that I will cut back completely later today or in the week. I need it gone because it's just, I don't see, it's too thin. It grew too thin, and yeah, I just want to give it a new start. Over here we have Echinopsis glauca flowering. Also Scopolycola behind it. I would love to repot that one too, but it's so big already, so we'll see. Now it's raining again. This is Valida, and once again, 2 fruits. Had 2 flowers and 2 fruits. I pollinated with a pollen mix to get fruit again, and it succeeded. Here's a Gräser hybrid, but that one will be sorted out. Over here, this one's flowering, short spine. First flowers. This one's flowering. I've seen the flower before, I think, but first time flowering since I've potted it up. Over here, I showed this plant. I posted this plant this morning on Facebook, and someone told me it's not an Echinopsis or something like that. You know, I love when people look at something like this and think it's a Pilosocerois, because it isn't. You know, but yeah, it happens all the time. It's just something that I got used to it by now. I do not comment on these kinds of replies. I know that some of my plants look very much like Pilosocerois, but they aren't. It's too cold where I live. I had a lot of Pilosocerois originally, but it was so cold during winter that they didn't make it, or that I sorted them out because they didn't look nice. So here, Isla del Sol, second and third flower. The first flower kind of dropped. No, yeah, I pollinated it, but it didn't grow into a fruit. It was somewhere here. Okay, what else? Let's go into the other greenhouse. By the way, the Verdermannianus, it had terminated. It looked like very bad. And now we are getting healthy growth again. I'm so happy. Sometimes you just gotta give a plant a chance. This is Grandiflora. Only one fruit from the 4 flowers that we had, but at least we have a fruit. Over here we have Super Apricot. Finally flowering. Again, I want to use it for breeding, so we will move it into the greenhouse. But I gotta be careful here, so I don't. It's a grafted plant, and I do not want it to be. Okay. Over here, we have a fruit from one of my own Lobivia hybrids that flowered for the first time. I'm very happy. This is Echinopsis grandiflora, I think, but I will have to wait for the flower and look at the label and all. This is Strigosa yellow, I think. I hope that the flower will grow, because it has already been attacked by slugs. Then I wanted to show you this plant again. We had to remove that part. There was an infection here where the fruit grew. But check out, the dehydration's completely gone. I had potted it up in coconut, and within short time the dehydration was gone. This is really good. I liked how this one turned out. Over here, this is the Valida, Echinopsis valida, and there's a nice big moss that is searching protection there. This is the flowering plant from the other side. Will be hard to pollinate these, but I will try. This is the side arm of the other one, where I said I might move it inside, but it's kind of hard. This one I want to have inside under the time lapse, because these 3 flowers will look amazing when they open up. So this one will most likely be under the time lapse. Then this one here. Over here, this is Vers 11, flowering again. Yeah, and I have to move a lot of the flowering plants, the plants with fruit, out of the greenhouse, because I want it to rain on them. This is the Arboricola variegated Grandiflorus hybrids. This one here is Allergold. Also, both flowers pollinated. Here are the seedlings. I started spraying them again, and they started looking better again. But yeah, the moment you stop watering, it gets dangerous for the seedlings on the top shelf. Here's a fruit from Yellow California crossed with Echinopsis valida. Very happy about this. This is the 3rd time or so that I did this cross, and it works every year. So every time I tried it. Over here we have North Peru. Yeah. Pollinated with Kraken, Erfolg, Selbstbestäubung, and Cantora, and Pink Stripes, Amun-Re. This one will definitely go into the house for the time lapse, but I gotta be careful because it goes so fast. Last time this thing opened so fast, I missed it. So I keep an eye on this. I try to get the right time. If I can get it, it will go into the house for time lapse. But yeah, it's not easy to move a spiny plant like this, so maybe I need help. This one here is a Telegonoides hybrid. Flower broke off. This is the tube, the flower tube, and the stigma that was remaining, and luckily it worked. Yeah, this one flowering soon. We discussed that. I need to do a lot of work. There's so much stuff to be done here. I will be busy the whole year. And inside here I'm also repotting a bunch of plants. I want to sort out a lot this year. We will just go through everything and sort out what we can, because I need space and I want to focus on the plants that really deserve to be kept here for breeding and all. It's not easy when you have limited space like I have. But yeah, I wanted to talk about these. These are hybrids from a cross that I did in 2017. Cross number PNO 2017 4, the fourth cross of 2017. And this is a cross between a columnar and a columnar trichocereus and a multi-hybrid between Gräser hybrids and Hildewinterer. And we have just named one of them because the flower was so great. The hybrid is called Witchcraft. Very beautiful flower. I might put a photo into the video now, if I find it in time, just so you can see the one that we named. And yeah, there are more from this cross that are flowering soon, and I will post more about them later. But I just wanted to say I'm very proud about this cross because the flower had a beautiful black throat, nice black throat in the center of the flower. That is something that is really rare on the columnar crosses with these, with columns as mother. And yeah, the flower had this kind of apricot, orange, peach kind of color. Very beautiful. I was proud because I usually do not name plants. When I name something, it is something that is deserving of a name, and that is my own cross, you know. So I have this huge list of names that I wanted to use if I ever have something really good. And this one was deserving of a name. So I was proud. You know, I see a lot of names being thrown out, and people rename stuff like Icaro DNA, which already has a name. They are Icaro DNA, you know. So when you create a hybrid like this, it was so much work. This is a cross from 2017. Then you gotta, I sent the seeds all around the world to everyone. This one here was grown by someone in Australia, a good friend of mine. And yeah, it couldn't have been at a nicer person, you know. So I was happy that he was the one who raised it. And yeah, everything worked out. I was so happy. So yeah. This one here is a Gröner Candicans hybrid, flowering for the first time now, I think. And it's a make or break situation because I know that the flower isn't so great, and I think about sorting it out. But this is the type of hybrid that was used in Leuchtfeuer by Rolf Autenried. This is a classic hybrid, and maybe we will try to repeat the cross. We'll see. Here's a botanical arboricola flowering for the first time, and this is not the one that I had, but another one, so we can attempt a pure arboricola cross. Pure Sörensia arboricola. Here's a grafted rib that grows a fruit. Was very happy about this one too, because the main plant wasn't flowering a lot this year, only 1 or 2 flowers. So every time when you have these rib grafts and they flower, that's a great thing. And yeah, the next month or 2, I will just be busy cleaning up, repotting, watering and fertilizing before the winter comes, and just making sure that the chaos that was left by the flower season is over. It was so much work this year. I barely managed it. I was really struggling with my personal life. So it will take a while to get it all under control, but we will. And eventually, long term, things will become easier, because the choice of soil that I now use will prevent plants dehydrating too much when it gets too hot. We just now get excessive heat waves, and with the new soil, that should be a little bit easier to handle. Then I wanted to show you this. This is Teleflora, and look at the fruits. And these aren't the only ones, there are more. So we have 2, 4, 6, 7 fruits on Teleflora. 7. Over here I have a few more plants that are flowering, that are growing fruit. Sorry. And yeah, I will be busy repotting all the time. I constantly order new soil and new pots, but it's a matter of money too. I'm doing low budget what I do here. So every time I earn a little bit, I buy new soil and pots, and then we repot a little. But long term, we will get this thing here under control again. Check these out. They stand out pretty nicely, right? Not sure what they are. Let me see. Yeah, this is Macrogona. The way people now use the name Macrogona. Yeah, and I have plants everywhere, and I need to repot them slowly. And what I do not want to repot, I need to sort out. So Scopulicola finally flowering here, and here it dropped some flower buds, but that's okay. I just at some point it got so hot that you couldn't go out to water. But yeah, here's a fruit on Echinopsis glauca from Bamboy's father. Up there, this is Rio miscensis as father. And I pollinated a few more, so we might be lucky and get some more. Okay, so let's do the outro. Let's talk a little bit about what's going on. Inside the house, I have one of those feathers hybrids under the time lapse. And it takes another day. It needs another day, unfortunately. Worried about the cost of electricity, but it will look great. There are a few more that are opening up, so if I see something that rushes along in the flower development, I might put it under the time lapse too. There will be a few really good time lapses. The last 3 days I filmed that North Peru thing, that white flowering one that I've shown you in the beginning, and that one looked great. I really did my best to film it, and I'm sure you will like it. I hope so. Apart from that, I've been dealing with Facebook to get one of those pages like that steals videos on a daily basis. Try to get them to stop posting my videos. I mean, they post it every day, and they rank better than my videos. You know, I just find it outrageous. You know, because I looked at the page, and just this week they posted like 10 videos from me. Just in 1 week. And then I looked at other stuff. There were videos from friends of mine, and personal like photos of people with their plants. So they are impersonating these people. So I don't know. I just find it not okay. I'm not bothered if someone who likes a plant shares it, you know, or wants to show it to their friends. That's not the case there. These guys are doing commercial daily video theft and all, and that's I just don't want to tolerate it, especially not when I'm ranking worse on Facebook than them. So yeah, that's I was trying to deal with that today, and yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, lots of things are happening right now. and I just try to get everything under control. There are too many plans. I already sorted out maybe 100 plans, but it's not enough. We need to sort out more this year, and I will do it on camera with you. We will talk it through. I want to get to a point where I just keep the best ones for breeding, and everything else I will sort out slowly after the other. And let's talk about the seeds to end the video. I decided I will probably donate the seeds that I grow in the future. So I'm not sure how, and I'm not sure when, but the crosses that you see here that we're making here will be donated for free. I do not want to see them sold. If I see someone selling them, I will never give them something again. I mean, if someone will end up selling a plant in 10 years from now, that's not what I mean. But if I donate seeds for free, I don't want to see them sold. And that's a general thing. I just had a talk with someone about the costs of the hybrid Amun-Re on the market, and I'm disgusted by the price gouging on that is going on. I've seen one being sold for $500 or more, and that's just not my idea of growing, of being a breeder. I have donated a lot of the Amun-Re that are currently around, that are that people are breeding with right now. And when I see these things being sold for 500 euro or so, or for 500 US dollars, I'm really mad about it, because I feel like that wasn't why I gifted them away, you know? And that's a general thing. I want my plants to be accessible to the community. So I don't recall when the last time was when I sold a plant, but most of the stuff that comes from me will be donated for free. And I expect these plants to be donated again later. At least, I mean, to a certain degree, I understand everybody's got to live. So cover your costs, but I don't want to see them being sold for outrageous amounts and all that stuff. That's not why I do that. I think the best hybrids that I have, I've gifted away. And when I see them being sold for outrageous amounts, I regret it. That was the reason why I pulled back from propagating plants in the first place. So yeah, the seeds from the next seasons will probably be donated and available for free, but I cannot ship them all. It's just too much work for me to do that. So we will have to find a solution for that. I will not be involved in the shipping. I will just send them to someone, or have them sent to someone who then can take over the distribution. And it needs to be someone that can be trusted, because otherwise they end up on eBay or something like that, and I will not tolerate that. So yeah, that's the idea with the seeds that you see here. I do not believe in showing stuff that will never be available, so we will find a way. Alright, thank you for tuning in. There will be more videos coming soon, but not sure when. A lot of reels, and every now and then I do a long form video like today. Thank you guys. Bye.